This week's episode is brought to you by Crown Haven Wealth Advisors, your retirement reimagined. Coming up today on RetireSHIELD TV.
Our firm was founded on the principle of we're going to act with integrity, we're going to personalize plans for folks, and it's going to be based on their needs in retirement. We wanted to create a very organized, systematic process so that people know not only we've got a handle on it, but then once we've delivered this to them, they've got a handle on it. Our core values at a very basic level are to act with integrity. We're going to personalize every single plan. We're going to plan with transparency. It's going to be based on a purpose that the client has defined. We're going to under-promise and over-deliver. We're going to treat our clients like family. And we understand that this is a lot more than money. It's helping them live better lives.
Knowing people and building trust. Get on the right path to achieve your retirement goals with Casey Marx and the team at Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. Understand the process and challenges of retirement planning. Discover the keys to a successful retirement.
Hello and welcome to RetireSHIELD TV. I'm consumer advocate Morgan Patrick, and as always, I am joined by the founder and CEO of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors and creator of the RetireSHIELD Process, Casey Marx. And Casey is not only the author of Baby Boomer Retirement Bootcamp, he is also a retirement income certified professional as well as a certified financial fiduciary. It's good to see you, Casey.
Good to see you, Morgan.
So Casey, each week we sit together and I get to see your passion for helping people. But for people who don't know you as well as I do, obviously, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of go there and share with them, who Casey Marx is and also, all about Crown Haven.
Well, I think to understand why I'm sitting here in the first place, you have to understand my family's history. And I'm an only child. My dad grew up in a very small town, Sparta, Wisconsin. And he grew up in a little cracker box house. He had multiple siblings. His dad was away at war. He had to shine shoes on Fort McCoy, a local base, to help his family make ends meet. So he understood the value of a dollar from a very young age. He, at 18 years old, took his motorcycle across the country, met my mother, was the first person in his family to go to college. And then, I get a little bit deeper than most people in my position, I think. But my parents had a very difficult time having children. They worked at it for about 8 years.
Wow.
I was the sole result of their efforts, obviously. And my dad was a great guy, but he was also a very unhealthy guy. He had cancer when I was 3 years old. He had a heart attack when I was 7. And then he passed away when I was 15 very suddenly. My dad left our family about $400,000 when he passed away, which was a fortune to us. To put things in perspective, my dad was making about $100,000 a year as a high-level executive when he passed away. My mom was a paraeducator at a local school, making about $30,000 a year. So obviously it was very important that we protect that money. My mom did what everybody else does when something like that happens. She wanted to figure out what to do with it. She went to the person that she trusted. So she went down to a local broker-dealer. She worked with my former baseball coach, and he said, "Jan, I'm going to take care of you. You're going to be okay." Very quickly thereafter, the tech bubble burst.
Wow.
My mom lost about 40% of her money, and then she had no choice but to ride that out. She was still working, so she had a little bit of employment, but things changed really quickly for my family. I had to get a couple of jobs in high school to help her support us. I put myself through college. I was dealing with a lot of issues myself, just from the loss of my dad. Had a lot of anxiety, had panic attacks, things of that nature. Decided that what I wanted to do with my life was become a grief counselor. So that was my goal. That was the path that I was on. And as I was in college, the financial crisis hit, and my mom lost another 40%. And it was at that moment then I decided that I needed to get my hands around this and really understand the financial industry. Now, I thought that I'd be somebody that would be able to sit behind 3 computer screens and predict the future. What I realized is that there are very few amount of people that have access to the type of information that gives them an edge in the marketplace. And even they don't get it right all the time.
Right, it's hard to. It's a casino, right?
Yeah, nobody has a crystal ball. And the rest of us are considered mass affluent delegators. We've got a little bit of money. There's a lot of us. And we want to delegate, our financial lives to a professional. The financial industry knows that. And there is a group of salespeople out there that their sole job is to capture your assets and charge a fee for that privilege. And that whole industry was created after the dissolution of the modern pension. And so then I looked at my mom and what her needs were, and it was a lot more than just investment management. It was, she needed to know how she was going to have enough money in retirement so that she could continue to live and maintain a basic decency and standard of living and continue to do some of the things that she wanted to do. She needed to have her investments managed in a way that were in accordance with her risk capacity, which is totally different than her risk tolerance. Her tolerance is how she feels about it. Her capacity is whether or not she can handle it in the first place.
Right.
She needed somebody to help her pay the least amount in taxes. And the problem with taxes and investments is typically the investment person doesn't want to touch it, or they don't have the knowledge to do it. And the CPA is preparing taxes, and they're not really working very closely with the tax or with the investment person. What happens if she gets sick? She wanted to make sure at that stage that I would be okay. And I know that I didn't want to worry about if she got sick.
Right.
What about the legacy itself? When my dad passed away, the money went through probate. That was a headache, and it was very difficult going through an emotionally turbulent time and dealing with the finances, right? So there's all these disparate areas of finance that are super important for all people that my mom wasn't getting help with. And so then I asked the question, well, why is she not getting help with this? And the sad answer was that, and this is inflation adjusted, but to be considered economically viable for the firm that she was working with, for them to try to compose a team of professionals to try to help her with all of those things, she would have had to have had about 2.5 million with them.
Wow.
And it was just based on her asset size. She wasn't worth it to them.
It's almost like when you're that kid and you go to the amusement park with your family and you're not quite tall enough to get on that certain ride.
Yeah, she just wasn't tall enough, and that broke my heart.
Yeah.
And it made me extremely upset. And I looked at the industry and I said, number one, I want to make sure that this never happens to my mom ever again.
Right.
But number two, holy smokes, is there a business opportunity here? So if people want to look at me as a pure capitalist, it's yeah. 99.9% of all advisors are focused on one thing, and they're charging you a fee to put your money in the world's largest casino. Our firm was founded on the principle of we're going to act with integrity, we're going to personalize plans for folks, and it's going to be based on their needs in retirement. And I thought that if somebody came out of left field and said, hey, we're the guys that will help with that, by the way, for all the people out there, and now, by the way, to get that type of help from a traditional firm, you've got to have about 5 million. For all those folks that have less than $5 million, we're here. And we're going to do it, and we're going to be the quarterback of all those relationships, and we're going to make sure the plan is set up properly, which was the genesis of our RetireSHIELD. And I thought it'd be a pretty successful business model. And I had $17 in my bank account when I started. I had a couple of I-bonds that my dad left me that I never cashed, and I was incredibly naive. And I moved across the country to start a radio show, didn't know a soul, drove out to meet 65-year-old men and women, talking to them about how I had read the academia and how we could help. Initially started just with the secure income planning component of it because I knew how important that was, and then we expanded our services.
You had the passion to help.
Yeah, sometimes in life your passion finds you. There's a lot of other things that I could be doing, but man, this is important. And if I were in my client's shoes, I would want somebody that truly cares about the outcome and also knows what the heck they're doing. And so that's why we're here.
This is important. This is RetireSHIELD. We're about to take a quick break, but if you want your own personalized RetireSHIELD plan or a free copy of Casey's book, Baby Boomer Retirement Boot Camp, make sure to call the number that's on your screen right now and talk with one of our representatives or visit our website, RetireSHIELD.tv.
Memories with Grandpa.
My first job.
My fourth job.
Crazy road trips.
Our first date.
Meeting our son.
Exploring our world.
Our world. Family and friends.
Our special song.
Secure your retirement by meeting with your local, independent, and fiduciary advisor at Crown Haven. Take advantage of your complimentary relationship visit by calling Casey Marx and the team at Crown Haven today.
Hello and welcome back to RetireSHIELD TV. I'm consumer advocate Morgan Patrick, and as always, I am joined by the founder and CEO of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors and creator of the RetireSHIELD Process, Casey Marx. Casey is a retirement income certified professional as well as a certified financial fiduciary. So before the break, you were telling all the viewers just about the amazing story that led to Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. So how is that impacting the community today?
Well, first of all, I think, hearing the story, and even I wake up most mornings and pinch myself.
Sure.
I never thought in a million years that I would be sitting in the chair that I'm sitting in. I get to operate in a position of great fulfillment on a daily basis, helping people live better lives in retirement. I think it's a result of continual effort, doing the right thing over and over again. I like to tell our clients that we're like the small hardware store across the street from the Home Depot.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like that.
Or, we're the equivalent of the greasy spoon on the side of the highway. You know that, grandma in the back cooking the eggs really cares about the eggs that are being delivered, where if you go to the chain restaurant, maybe the person working there is going to do a good job, maybe they won't. So, when you're working with a firm that came where we came from, we really care about the result for our clients. What that's grown into, I never imagined it would grow into. I have a team of extraordinary people first. Our mission is that our clients worry less about their money and spend more time enjoying their lives. Our vision is to be the last advisor our clients ever need. Our core values at a very basic level are to act with integrity. We're going to personalize every single plan. We're going to plan with transparency. It's going to be based on a purpose that the client has defined. We're going to under-promise and over-deliver. We're going to treat our clients like family. And we understand that this is a lot more than money. It's helping them live better lives. And what's beautiful about creating an organization from scratch is that you get to choose who you let into that little world of yours.
Right.
And if people don't acknowledge and adhere to those core standards, guess what? They're not there very long.
I was going to say, it's not like you come to Crown Haven and it's like, take a number, sit down, you got to wait 15 minutes just to see somebody. You're very selective.
We hire folks all the time now. We're growing.
Sure.
But when we hire, we go through 400, 500 applicants to get to the one person that we're going to hire for that position. And it's based on character. It's based on skill level. I show everybody a quadrant at my firm. Imagine productivity and culture fit.
Sure. Somebody
can be extremely productive, but be a very low culture fit, and they're going to do terrible things. They're going to impact clients in a terrible way.
Right.
They can be low productivity, low culture fit. Obviously, that's not somebody who we'd like to have. If they're high productivity, high culture fit, that's the person that we handcuff so they never leave our firm.
Okay.
And so the people that work for our company are high productivity, high culture fit individuals that are completely bought in to what we do in helping people's lives every day. Now, on a client side, we want to work with folks that are serious about their future. We want to work with folks that appreciate the care and attention that we place into creating certain outcomes for them. I'm a human being too. I like going home at night knowing that I've done a good job and I've worked and I've made an impact, quite frankly. And we work in an industry where there's a lot of cynicism.
Right.
And I can deal with skeptics. I love working with skeptics because what they're trying to do is they're trying to turn the magic into science. And I will show them the science. I will show them the data. In fact, I love lifting the curtain and going, this is exactly how everything works. Come on this journey with me. We're going to show you how it is working for you now, how it can work in the future, and how much better we can make your life. I can't work with cynics,
Right.
because cynics are trying to turn something good into something bad. And at a very basic level, we're doing good work on a daily basis with very good people. And our clients are very good people too. So we welcome members of our community to join us and to join our family, because we view our firm as a family.
You said this on prior shows, and I just think it's pretty unique. You do not pack your calendar.
No.
And explain why you don't.
If this were a meal, do you want fast food or do you want a carefully crafted dish?
I'll go crafted dish.
Right. Like, you don't want fast food. You don't want somebody that's going to, put your bag out the drive-through window and say, take it. You want somebody that's going to listen to you and understand what you're trying to accomplish, and then use a high level of skill and acumen to build that for you, and then care whether or not you like how it tastes. Right? Get it right. I was raised on the principle of you do things the right way. And sadly, I think in our country, that's being lost. But in our little corner of the world, in Crown Haven, our little corner of the world on Meridian and Pennsylvania Street, we do things the right way, and we care about the outcome. And we believe that with every fiber of our being. And it's extremely important. And I believe personally, on a societal level, if there were more people doing things the way we were doing things, we'd be in a much better spot.
RetireSHIELD is what we discuss each and every week, and you came up with this process, and people are flocking to it.
Yes, they are. We're in very high demand, and that's why I'm hiring additional advisors all the time. And then they go through an incredibly rigorous training process, because you can. The thing about going to medical school is the first in the class and last in the class are both called doctor. So in the advisory field, you can have folks that have designations, you can have folks that have all the requisite licenses,
right?
And they don't know how to put a plan together, if they tried, right? So we have spent decades on researching this stuff and putting it together in a very academically sound way to give our clients certainty of outcome. Anybody that comes into our office and is going to represent us, which is something I created out of thin air, by the way, and something that I hold very deep in the value of my heart, they're going to do it the right way. Period. End of story, full stop. And if they don't, they're gone. And we take full accountability for that.
Crown Haven, RetireSHIELD. With that, we are about to take a quick break. But before we do, I wanted to remind you to join the thousands of Hoosiers that have already shielded their retirement with a personalized RetireSHIELD plan. Our lines are always open, so call the number that's on your screen right now to talk with one of our representatives, or you can visit our website, RetireSHIELD.tv, for your very own personalized RetireSHIELD plan or a free copy of Casey's book, Baby Boomer Retirement Boot Camp.
Do you know what that sound is? It's me traveling the world. Europe to Asia. I'm vacationing and living the retirement of my dreams because I just met with my advisor at Crown Haven. They helped me turn my nest egg into a golden egg. Take advantage of your complimentary relationship visit by calling Casey Marx and the team at Crown Haven today.
Hello and welcome back to RetireSHIELD TV. I'm consumer advocate Morgan Patrick, and as always, I am joined by the founder and CEO of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors and creator of the RetireSHIELD Process, Casey Marx. Casey is a retirement income certified professional as well as a certified financial fiduciary. So far today, we have learned a lot about your story, but also just the amazing work that Crown Haven Wealth Advisors is doing. So why did you create the RetireSHIELD process, and what makes it different from other plans?
Well, quite simply, we created the RetireSHIELD process so that every important component of a retirement plan would be handled for our valued clients and members of the community. There are many disparate areas of finance that people have a hard time grasping onto.
Sure.
And when we talk about these topics, on television, it feels like you're drinking from a fire hose sometimes. So we wanted to create a very organized, systematic process so that people know not only we've got a handle on it, but then once we've delivered this to them, they've got a handle on it. And it's all solved for them. So that's why we created the process. What it results in for clients is a feeling of absolute absence of stress. And that's really the reason that we created it. Because, you can have a plan and you can have a binder and it can look like a plan. But if you don't know that everything is solved, there's still those glaring questions that exist. When everything is solved and it's factual and you can see it on paper, it then allows you to go out and live your life in the way that you want to live your life. And so the human component, the human result, is really why we did it in the first place. That's what I'm in search of. I'm in search of seeing that result in every human being that I come into contact with. How it differs from other plans is, to my knowledge, there's not really anybody out there, at least in the Indianapolis area, that is doing this. It's trademarked, number one. There are folks out there that try to do some of these things, and there are folks that have pieces of the puzzle that they work on. But we're the only firm that has organized it in this way and quarterbacks all of these relationships for our clients. And what I like to tell our clients, and this is the reason that our vision is to be the last advisor our clients ever need, in order to get this solved, most people have to hire 3 to 4 different people, right? They have to find an insurance professional, they have to find a financial advisor, they have to find, or an investment professional, they have to find a CPA, they have to find an estate planning attorney, they have to find a benefits specialist, Medicare, all those different people. You have to sit down in a whole bunch of interviews for those folks, figure out whether or not you like them, whether or not you trust them. You have to vet them. Let's say you do all of that, which, by the way, that's not very fun to do. It takes a lot of time and energy. Then the question becomes, who's going to quarterback all those people? Are you going to make sure they're doing their jobs?
Yeah, who's leading that team?
Who's leading the team?
Yeah.
Right? So part of what the Retirement Income Certified Professional designation is all about is quarterbacking the team, right? And that's really what the RetireSHIELD is too. So we quarterback those relationships, whether or not it's a certified public accountant, whether or not it's an estate planning attorney, whether it's benefits professionals. This is why we bring on, our brain trust of people on this show as well. Like we have, I like to say I'm like Henry Ford, I've got a button for everybody. So we bring folks in to provide additional value to our clients at every turn, so they're able to know that they've got this financial home base that has it covered, right? That's what people are looking for. And the reason people switch, it's not like they're switching advisors because, they don't like their advisor, or that they think they're a terrible human being, or that they don't particularly like their investments even. It's because we're the whole package. We're providing the whole package to people.
It's a one-stop shop.
It's a one-stop shop, and it's a financial home base. And then it's also from a team that really cares about the outcome. And then it's a local team. We're all in the community. And then on top of that, we're independent. We can use all the tools. And on top of that, we're fiduciary. You've got every single thing you would want in an advisory firm in one spot. So, that's why when I sit down with 10 people, 8 of those folks want to work with us.
Well, you've trademarked it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's very obvious you are passionate about it. We heard the story. We heard why you're doing it.
Yes.
You don't want that to happen to your clients. What happened with your mom?
No.
And I mean, it's heartfelt.
Yes.
You have a lot of sweat equity.
Yes.
And so RetireSHIELD, that's your baby.
It is my baby. The business is my baby. And you know what's beautiful is the team views it that way too. And that's something that's been amazing to witness over time. These people take ownership. These are not people that come in to do a job. These are people that come in to make an impact. And that's pretty amazing to witness as the owner of the company.
That's significant.
It is significant, and it's rare. It's not typical. And that's why I say, in our little corner of the world, we're doing things in a pretty special way. And I see it on a daily basis, and every single client that comes into our office sees it too. And I get it. I know that it's intimidating. I know that we all, and I'm cynical too.
Sure.
About different situations. Nobody, unless you've been under a rock for the last 40 years, you don't like dealing with a salesperson. That's not fun.
You're protective of you.
Yeah. People get it when they come in. And it's immediate. They're like, wow, this team, they're cool.
Yeah, this is different.
They care. This is a different place. I used to tell my clients, or my team rather, about, and I don't think I can get in trouble for saying this, but Disney, okay, what did Disney do? They cared so much about the client experience that it went all the way down to the trash cans. So if you were in a different, world, if you were in the space world or the frontier land, the trash cans were spaceships. They were so committed to the story that they went down to the trash cans. We are down to the trash cans at our firm. It is down to the minutia. It's down to the details of the details. There is nothing we don't look at. And it's to make our clients feel and know that they are in a special place that cares. And how it impacts the community is our clients continually live a life that they wanted to live for a very long time. They found a place that they know care about them, and they get to go on about their lives in a way that, quite frankly, they weren't able to before.
Crown Haven, RetireSHIELD. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. We're going to be back next week, but if you are looking for peace of mind in your retirement, please don't wait. Remember, lines are open 24/7. Call the number that's on your screen right now. Jot it down, call it later. You can also visit RetireSHIELD.tv for your free copy of Casey's book, Baby Boomer Retirement Boot Camp, or to have a personalized RetireSHIELD plan created just for you by Casey and his talented team of financial advisors.